and welcome to Three Men in a Shed Wargaming. We've been at Hammerhead 2025 today, and we got the absolute pleasure of catching up with Rob Jones, creator of Écorcheurs, a fantastically detailed and very innovative medieval skirmish game. Let's have a look at the interview. Hello, and continuing our theme of talking to everybody demoing games today, Rob's here. He's demoing something with Gripping Beast, and I'm hoping you're going to tell me all about it.
Yeah, so the rules are called Écorcheurs, which is French for the scourers or the skinners, and it referred to medieval French sort of mercenary soldiers who basically stripped the land bare, and so they became known as that. And this is a medieval 100 Years War skirmish game.
Brilliant. Okay.
So small scale stuff. So what I've got today, you've got a 4x4 table, 20 figures aside, so it's a small unit skirmish, and it comes out of my love and passion for medieval warfare.
Okay, so medieval warfare is your bag, something you're quite well qualified in, I believe.
Yeah, so my PhD was on medieval display and medieval battlefield. I've been writing about medieval warfare and the culture of medieval combat for the best part of 20 odd years. And I've never found a Wargames rule set that works for me and my understanding of what was going on there. So eventually I said, well, I'm going to have to write my own. And that's what I did. For better or worse.
My intellectual ego is just shriveled up on camera in front of everyone there. But we're still going to go with it. I love that. So, a few models aside, 20 models aside,
Yep.
Tell us about the game itself. What's its kind of unique selling point, except a really, really cool era?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great period for a start. So I think the main things are you will not find units. So unlike many of the skirmish rules that are out for the medieval period at the moment, you're not moving your units of bowmen and your units of men-at-arms. That is not how medieval armies were formed, and therefore, and particularly not at the skirmish level. So what you have is you have your retinue of 20 men, and then you can do with them what you will. So you activate them either as an individual figure or as a group of figures around a leader. So that might be the captain of the retinue, or it might be one of the guys that everybody turns to in a push or in a fight, in a crisis. You perform an action. If you're successful, you get to do it again, and you continue performing actions whilst you're successful, or until you run out of coin, which is, if you like, the currency of activation and things, or unless your opponent can steal the initiative from you to take the turn, if you like.
Oh, nice.
So it's a kind of fluid motion. It's not I go, you go. And it also means that those groups can change. So within that retinue, you might go, right, I'm going to move all of my men in this action. Right, now those archers are going to shoot. Or now they're going to go with an extra couple of guys and they're going to go and attack there. So it's very fluid, and I think that's the first thing. So unlike most medieval gaming, the action is fluid. For me, a medieval skirmish should be every bit as tactical as a World War II skirmish or a modern skirmish. So if you step out into the open in front of an archer, he's going to kill you. Yeah.
Seems fair.
They are,
Seems fair.
they are equally effective. So you need to think about cover. You need to think about command and control. You need to think about maneuver and using your troops. And again, it's not something that has traditionally been seen as the medieval way of warfare. It tends to be very much you line them up and you let them go. So that's the second thing. And the third thing is that I wanted players to do stuff which was also medieval.
Right.
So there's a lot of stuff that happens in medieval warfare which makes absolutely no sense from a tactical point of view.
Okay.
You know, charging solo against the enemy it occurs far more often than you would expect.
Oh, right.
And of course, for wargames, no one wants to do that because it's going to cost them the game.
Yeah.
So what I've included is a series of what I'm calling Chivalric deed cards, which are effectively sort of subplots within your scenario.
Yeah.
So, for example, you could be there's a chap called Sir John Chandos, great medieval knight, one of the leaders of the 100 Years War campaigns. At one stage, he arrives outside a bridge at a place called Lusac, and he's wearing his coat of arms on this huge long surcoat that goes down to his feet, and he stands in front of the French, and he goes, "Here I am, I'm John Chandos, try your luck if you, basically have a go if you think you're hard enough," which is great, and so they do. So in this game, if you play that card, if you choose to play that subplot, what you get to do is every time you're the first man at the front in combat, you get extra coins, you get extra stuff that benefits you in the game. But obviously, if you're on your own at the front, there's a greater risk that you're going to get your captain killed, and that will cause you quite serious problems later in the scenario. So there's a kind of
risk
opportunity,
and
risk and reward, make a choice. Are you going to be a chivalric leader? Are you going to play it more safe? So I'm giving players again, I'm not dictating what players will do. I'm giving them some choice to be a little more chivalric, a little more medieval in their thinking.
I love this. So you can go out there and be Billy Big Ones and have a great time, massively at risk, but hugely beneficial for your war band.
Exactly.
I like this a lot. And you use the term retinue as well, rather than war band. So
Yes.
that is more in keeping with what you're looking to put
so the rules are set at the moment. The first set of scenarios that come with the rules are mid 14th century.
Right.
So 1340s, 1350s. So that's the year of Cressy.
Yep.
So for your retinues, if you are playing English, you're looking at what's called an indentured retinue. So that's a captain and then his archers and maybe a few men at arms that he draws together. If you're looking at French, you've got there are suggested, and again, they're suggested retinues, not army lists, because I don't believe in army lists for the medieval period. You get what turns up, you don't get a choice. For the French, there's a suggested retinue for an urban militia. So crossbowmen, spearmen with big pavises, and then a couple of guys in fuller armour. There's one for a knightly retinue. So if you want to field that great French chivalric retinue, you've got 10 men in full armour on horseback, plus a few sergeants behind them who kind of half-part armoured. There's something then also for Welsh and Breton guerrillas, so lighter weight kit, darts and javelins, that sort of thing. But they're all suggestions, because in the end, what I'd like people to do is to go and do a bit of reading, find their own period, find a story that they're interested in, and form that and create that. So whether it's Hanseatic League, or if you wanted to do Teutonic Knights or something like that, just go and have a look for what's out there and kind of bring it in. And I think that would be cool.
Find the thing that sings to you and bring that
in and make your own retinue with your own characters. So your captain isn't, yes, he's the guy who's in charge, and he's got a kind of, he's better dice rolls and things like that, but it's also, he can have traits. So he could be puissant, so that means he's good in a fight, which means he can shape the combat slightly more than an ordinary guy could. Or he might be audacious, which means he can seize the initiative. Or he might be cowardly, which means you've got to roll to try and get him into combat at all. So there's all of those sorts of things that give those people characters and nuance and flavour, because in the end, otherwise it becomes very much you're just playing a game which is, well, it's like any other game. It could be a World War II skirmish or whatever, so you've got to get that feel. So
I think the thing that's coming across to me anyway, and certainly seems to be coming across on the tables, because you've definitely been busy today, we'll say, which is why I'm so happy you've taken the time to come and see us, because you've not really had any time.
It's actually good to be out in the sunshine.
I've not seen it for a few days. I'm not sure how much I like it. The thing I would say is that you've really got, obviously, the essence of the period, and you're bringing that through the rule set, rather than giving a rule set and forcing people to impose it on it. And I think that's really impressive and very unique. So yeah, thank you. Well, so when can we see this hitting the shelves, do you think?
So,
the terror question.
as always, the latest conversation I've had, and as always, it's coming out through Gripping Beast.
Brilliant.
Which is great. They're a really supportive company, but they're a small firm.
Yeah, of course.
Which means that always deadlines shift and flex and stuff crops up.
Priorities out.
The latest I've heard is we're looking at a Kickstarter launch. That is literally everything will be ready to go. So there's no development left to do. But this is kind of just getting the pre-orders in early summer, with then the stuff coming out over the summer, and then the first time you'll be able to come to a show, play a game, and grab a copy of the rules will be Colours in September.
Beautiful. So have you got a Discord or anything like that you'd like to plug very quickly?
Yeah, you'll find me on all the various social media channels as Historian in Harness.
Oh,
because alongside being medieval historian and playing war games, I also am a costume interpreter and have my own suit of armour. So if you come to Colours, apparently I'm meant to be wearing the armour when I do it. So.
Right, that sounds like a date right there. Well, look, Rob, I want to say thank you so much for joining me. It's been so good. It's blown my mind a little. It's more than I've learned in the last 12 years about anything in the world. But it's been absolutely great. And I wish you all the success, because it's been such a great time for you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Cheers.
So, following that incredible interview with Dr. Jones about his new 100 Years War skirmish game, I went and had a little demo of the game, and the standout point for me is the activation mechanic, where you have a certain amount of coins and you spend those coins and give those coins to your opponent every time you want to do something. And if it is successful and you have a leader there, you can just continue to do more and more things until you either fail or your opponent can seize the initiative. In a game that doesn't have a strict turn structure, it really feels like there's the ebb and flow of battle. So yeah, a brilliant game. Can't wait to see more of it. Can't wait to actually start playing it. Already looking at miniatures from Gripping Beast and various other manufacturers. Go check it out.
Ecorcheurs. Acorn shirt? Écorcheurs. Écorcheurs? Écorcheurs. Oh, Rob, I'm so sorry, man. You told me so many times. Écorcheurs. Écorcheurs. Écorcheurs? This is precisely why I don't have a PhD in this area of history, and the creator of this game does, and I suspect he can speak fluent French as well.